important that we're not embarrassed, because there's going to be times when I'm going to unmute everyone. And by the way, when I unmute you, make sure to unmute yourself also. And it's just very, very important to pronounce the letters, because the more you pronounce them, the more you're going to remember them. Every letter and vowels have layers of meaning. The pronunciation can change the meaning of the entire word. So it's not enough only to know the letters. You have to know the vowels. And in Hebrew, the vowels are called nekudot. Now, our method of learning today is going to be, we're going to learn how to read. We're going to start first with the body. What do I mean, the body? I mean, we're going to start first with the words. And after we do the words, we're going to go into the vowels. That gives the words a bit of taste, a bit of sound. So that's how we're going to learn it. The first 2 classes, this week and next week, we're going to learn the entire alphabet. And guess what? It's going to be doable, and this deck of cards that you have really make the course very tangible. I'm going to be sharing the screen in one moment, and you'll see that it's such a simple language to know how to read. I'm going to give a bit of insight on every single letter, but I don't want to get too caught up in the Kabbalistic and the meaning. But the only reason I'm going to bring the Kabbalistic and the deeper meaning for the letters, so you can remember. Oh, you look at the letter Aleph and you say, oh, makes sense, because this has God, Israel, and the line in between. So the more you talk about the letter, the more you're going to remember the letter. Even the Hasidus and the Kabbalah explanation is going to be for a certain reason of you remembering what the letter, because this focus of this 5-week crash course is to know how to read Hebrew, to have the tools to read Hebrew on your own. I've done this course already a couple of times, a few community members. I have my oldest student was 94 years old. Today he's 96. He learned with me 2 years ago, and he knows how to read Hebrew fluently. And that's because he joined the classes, and now he's already doing it on his own. So one more thing, practice as much as you could. We're going to practice in class, but also after class. Please practice a few minutes a day. And that's it. So we're going to start. And I may teach you even a song, a bit of an Aleph-based song. It may seem a bit babyish, but you know what? As I mentioned before, when we learn something, everyone has to be an influencer and everyone has to be a receiver. So sometimes you're sitting on the receiving side, sometimes you're sitting on the influencing side. But receiving is an element of being young, being a baby, learning. So let's all feel comfortable and make sure that we're going to sing loud. So I'm going to start. Anybody have any questions? So you can use the chat box, or you can, there's a place where you can put your hands up, or you can just wave and I can answer your question. So are we ready to start? Could you give me a thumbs up, please? Okay, I'm speaking loud and clear. Hi, Emily and David. How are you? You guys are good? You ready? Good. Let's go. Okay. This is the Aleph base. Okay. It's card 2A. So I'm going to be following on the screen and on the cards. If you want, you can only use the cards. Do whatever suits you best. This is the Aleph base. Okay. Just give a look. And guess what? In 2 classes, you're going to be knowing the Aleph base. You're going to be knowing the name of the letters and how the pronunciation of each letter. Okay, let's continue on to the next part. 1 second. Okay, here you are. So let me go quickly. I'm going to sing the song. Maybe you'll catch on to the tune. Okay. Aleph, bet, vet. Aleph, bet, vet. Gimel, Dalet, hey. Gimel, Dalet, hey. Vav, Zayin, Chet, Het. Vav, Zayin, Chet, Het. Yud, Kaf, Chaf. Yud, Kaf, Chaf. The third line. Lamed, Mem, Nun. Lamed Mem Nun, Samech Ayin Pei Pei, Samech Ayin Pei Pei, Sadik Kuf Resh, Sadik Kuf Resh, Shin, Sin, Taf. I don't expect from any of you to remember the song and remember all the letters, but that's the tune. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially starting card 3A. Please show me that you have the card. You can use the card again. You can use the screen. This is the most famous letter, and it's called Aleph. Okay? So, guess what, everyone? I'm going to unmute you, and everyone's going to scream together, Aleph. Make sure you're unmuted. You have to also unmute yourself, even if I unmute you. But guess what, guys? Aleph.
Aleph.
Aleph. Beautiful.
Aleph.
Okay,
Aleph.
wonderful.
Aleph.
We're going to be continuing on. Next is, okay. I want to just give a small, I know everyone knows the letter Aleph really well, but just a small little explanation, okay? This is the little chupchik on the top, on the letter Aleph is God above. Oh, it's above human comprehension, right? Because Hashem, you know, once there was a story that a rabbi asked his students, could you please describe me Hashem? Could you draw me a picture of Hashem? So he went and he drew a big picture of God and made God very, very big. And the rabbi slapped the student on his face when he said, that's not who God is. God is so above our understanding that it's so small. We can't explain it. It's not about, God is infinite. You can't describe the greatness of God. So that's why every time also in the Torah, God's name is small. The little Yud, it's small. It's beyond our understanding. Now, the letter Aleph, there's something else. The lower part is the Jew below. Through humility, one can become a vessel for God's wisdom. Okay, so you have the letter Aleph. The right hand side is God, and the bottom is the Jew. Now, what connects us? So this is Torah and faith with God. So this little thing in the middle is the Torah, and the little thing is also faith. Both faith and the Torah connects the Jew, the little chupchik on the bottom left, with the little chupchik on the top right. It's the faith, the Torah. That's what connects us with God. So that's the letter Aleph. Let's continue. Okay? Now, a disclaimer, and it's very, very important that I give you this introduction. And listen up carefully. Sometimes it could be a situation where you see, I'm going to teach you a letter. You're going to look on those deck of cards, and you're going to see the Aleph base in some kind of shape. And then you're going to open up a siddur you're going to go to your synagogue and you'll go up a siddur. I don't recognize this letter. That's not where Rabbi Ariel taught me. So please pay attention to the shape, okay? Look up carefully on the screen and see the shape. That's the shape of the letters. That's Aleph. Aleph could be in any one of those shapes. I'm not going to focus on the far left, that's script, but nevertheless, just be open-minded to understand, and especially after the introduction of the letter Aleph that I gave you, God, the Jew, and the Torah in the middle, try to take your imagination and try to read Aleph with a lot of different textures. Okay, that's a letter, and it's called Bet. Now, Bet has a twin letter, okay? The Bet has a twin letter. What's the twin letter called? Vet, okay? So we have Bet, and we have Vet. So, Mrs. Namer is going to ask me, how am I going to remember the difference between the Bet and the Vet? But guess what? I have a great trick that I teach all of my students, and I myself remember the difference between Bet and Vet. Bet has a button, okay? Bet has a button. And what happened to the Vet? The Vet is vacant, okay? Now, if I had to ask you, how many letters did you learn so far? You only learned 2 letters. No, I learned Bet and I learned Vet, right? Maybe that's 3 letters. It's not 3 letters. This is a twin letter. They're identical. One has a button inside and one is vacant. but they are 100% identical. Okay, is that clear? Beautiful. We're going to move on. However, before I move on, I want you to look at your card and please pronounce together when I say 3, 2, 1, and you're going to say vet. I know it's very, it's not very comfortable, but we have to be comfortable in pronouncing the letters. So 3, 2, 1. Vet. Okay, so far, let's bet. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. Show you, and I'm going to show you our little song that we put together before. Just really quick. Okay, so just really quick so you get into the song. Okay, together, the first 3 letters. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to continuing on now to the next screen. I'm just going to, a lot of multitasking. I'm going to mute you, and we're going to continue now to the next one. So I'm going to skip everything you learned already. Beautiful. Okay, now, just a bit of explanation. I'm not going to teach you the left. Please look at the screen. This is not on your card. I'm not going to teach you the left, but just remember the bet and the vet, the sides having a button inside, and the one being vacant. Please remember that it's square, okay? And the one on the left, I'm not going to tell you the name. It's illegal for me to tell you the name now. I'm not going to be following the course if I jump the gun. So I'm going to tell you now, the bet is square. Remember that. It's going to be easy to remember. Not so hard. The bet is square. Also, another thing is the bet has that little chupchik. Look at this, the way this letter starts. You see the bet goes out a bit on the right side? That's bet. And that's vet. The kaf and the chaf, I'm sorry, I just said it by mistake because I'm so used to saying it, but don't pay attention to it. It's circle. It's round. We're going to learn it again and again. It's all about practicing. Now, I want to tell you something about the bet, okay? The Torah begins with the letter bet. Genesis, Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, okay? The letter starts with the letter bet. The Torah starts with the letter bet. Now, something interesting about the letter bet, it's open, as you can see on my screen. What's the message that we learned from the Torah being open, from the bet being open? God created the world. You can only understand what happened going forward from the moment God created the world. Do I know what happened before God created the world? It's very hard for us to really intellectually understand what happened. It's not so much something we can grasp because it's Hashem. Hashem is infinite and we're not. We're vice versa. So the bet is open. It's teaching us a message. Go forward. Understand the world. Understand how the world functions. Understand how relationship functions. Don't go backwards. However, there is one thing I want to tell you about the bet. That little chupchik and that little thing on the right-hand corner of the bet teaches us, yes, we could learn Kabbalah. We could learn Chassidut. We could learn the secrets of the Torah and go backwards a bit. But only a little chupchik at the bottom right. Our focus should be moving forward, understanding how the world works, have been successful in this world, not thinking so much about the upper world and the previous world, and not thinking about what happened, but a little bit you could understand. Okay, next, the letter Gimel. Okay, please pronounce Gimel. I know you all muted, but please say Gimel 5 times. Gimel, I'm looking at your mouth. Gimel, 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 Gimel. Okay? Now, once again, maybe I'll take Gimel. So I'll try to mix it up a bit, but Gimel. Okay, the letter Gimel. Gimel. Okay? Gimel. Now, let's continue. Okay, so why is it a glamorous Gimel? Because look at that, and that's for all those who wear heels. Glamorous Gimel has a high hill. Gimel, glamorous, okay? Just little ways of remembering, like the previous letter, we said vet, button, vacant. This one is the Gimel, glamorous, because it has a high heel, okay? That's the simple, practical way to remember the letter Gimel. But now I want to show you something else. The gimel is glamorous and it has a heel. But look at the letter on the left that I'm not going to pronounce the name. The letter does not have a heel. It's flat. It's nothing. No heel. So the gimel that is glamorous and has a heel, it's gimel. Gimel. Okay. Let me just stop. Let me just go on to the next thing. The last letter, this letter. Okay. Another thing about gimel, please look. I told you about a heel, but also it's in a movement of being generous, being kind, helping the other. Look, as you can see in the picture, the person walking towards someone else. Because there's a word in Hebrew, it's called gomel. Gomel being kind, being generous, helping others. So the gimel, gomel, is being generous and helping the other. So, or you can go with gimel, glamorous, or the Kabbalah explanation on gimel is you see the person walking, going to help the other. If it's whatever kind of support, but it's the willingness to go to help. Okay, let me just, does anybody have, are we good? Are we good so far? We're good? Okay, we're gonna practice in a minute. Every few letters, we're gonna practice. Okay, beautiful, let's continue. This letter is Daled, okay? The letter Daled. Please pronounce Daled 5 times. Daled, 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 Daled. Beautiful. No such thing when you learn a language being repetitive. The more the merrier. Okay. Eliyahu, Daled, you said it 5 times? I want to hear you. 1 second. Eliyahu, could you say 5 times Daled?
Daled. 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 It's good. Daled.
I like the Spanish, the Portuguese accent. Beautiful. We're all learning our language in our own accent. It's our own language. And something else just very special about the letter Hebrew. Aleph Beis is it's the most ancient language, and it's going to exist forever. And one of the reasons, what's a subject in university that always exists? Mathematics, right? Numbers. Numbers is something that doesn't change. As coding is numbers, everything is numbers. Every single letter in the Aleph Beis has a numerical value. So for instance, if you looked at your letter 2A, okay, the letter of the Aleph Beis, 2A, you learned Aleph, you learned Bet, Vet, it's a twin letter. You learned Gimel, and now we're learning Daled. Daled is the 4th letter. The numerical value of the letter Daled is 4. Now I'm going to show you in a couple of letters that from number 10, it doesn't go to 11. It goes to 20. That's what makes our Aleph Beis so real and exists forever, because every single letter has a numerical value. So the letter Daled. Let's talk about the letter Daled bit so we can remember it. Like a hammer that can dent things. Okay, you can look. You can try to give it a bit of, if you catch on to that, cool. If you don't, also cool. So Daled dents. Okay, like a hammer that dents things. So we said, let's say the Gimel was glamorous and the Bet was a button inside. So the Daled is dents things. So if you look at the Aleph Beis and you want to imagine which one is a hammer, you look at the Daled and it looks like you can dent things. Beautiful. Now, what's the Kabbalistic, the more deeper explanation on the letter Daled? Gimel, as we said, was Gomel. He was generous, as we see the picture of the person going towards someone to help. Gimel, Gomel, giver, right? Gimel is Gomel, the giver. Daled, unfortunately, is the person who is the receiving. So it's not very easy to receive by face-to-face. He's giving the back to the person he needs to receive from. Unfortunately, many people need to receive or take it hard. You know, they take it difficult to receive from others. So he's giving Daled. Okay, that's just the way Dal, destitute. Okay, so a way to remember. So Gimel is the giver. He's the one going out, as we said, also with a heel, glamorous, the Gimel. And Daled is the one, unfortunately, needs to receive. And he's not exactly on the position of facing to the Gimel. So he gives his back as we see, because Gimel comes to Dalet. One more important information, as you can see from the card, the Aleph base, how does it work? From right to left, right? Not like English. Don't forget that. From right to left. Beautiful. Now, the letter Dalet, on the right side is Dalet. As you can see, it has a little chupchik. It's a bit more square. The left one, please don't get overwhelmed. We have 5 classes to work everything out. But as we're going on, I'm just building things up for you so you can remember when we reach to that letter. But this letter on the left is round. That's not the Dalet. That's not the dent, the hammer. The Dalet is more square. Okay? So just remember that this letter is different than the letter on the left side. Cool. This is, we're gonna stop in one moment. We're gonna, after we do a few letters, and we're gonna sing a song together. This is a letter Hey, okay? And what's special about the letter Hey? Just let's think about it for a second. First of all, I would like to ask Nicole, don't be shy to say Hey 5 times. Oh, I have to unmute the others, right? Because you don't have your sound. Okay, so the whole Smith family, who are really strong representatives in this class. So I would like you all to unmute yourself and say Hey 5 times. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, 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 hey.
Beautiful. Hey to you back also. Okay, wonderful. So let's talk about the letter Hey. Okay. Like a breath of air. Hey, his foot is broken. I don't know, just different ways that we thought that can be ways that you can, okay? So like a breath of air. Hey, his foot is broken. You're reaching out to someone, telling someone his foot is broken. As you can see, the left foot is not connected to the top. His foot is broken. Okay, and that's a very, very strong message that no matter, unfortunately, you're in a very difficult situation and you're in a dark room, devastating time in your life, remember that there's always a way out. Okay, there's always a way out. There's always a way out of any situation that you're in. Now, to add one more thing, you see this little broken foot on the left? What does this remind you of? Does anybody know what it reminds us of? It reminds us of the Yud Hashem. There's always a way out because Hashem is always helping us in any situation. So let's say you're in a dark room, in a dark situation, remember that there's that little letter Yud. It looks like the broken foot. That Hashem is always helping you in any situation that you're in. So guess what, everyone? In the first class of Read It in Hebrew, we reached a big milestone by reading together, by learning together those letters. Aleph, Bet, Vet. I'm going to repeat. Please pronounce after me. David, don't be shy. Aleph, Bet, Vet, Aleph, Bet, Vet. Next. Arlene, I can't hear you. Gimel, Daled, Hey. Gimel, Daled, Hey. Okay? So, guess what? I'm going to unmute you all, and we're going to sing along together. Have your card ready. You can do a 2A card, or you can see it on the screen. So, guess what? We have a choir here, so let's all sing together. 3, 2, 1. Aleph, Bet, Bet, Aleph. No, we're going to pronounce it twice, okay? 1 second. 3, 2, 1. Aleph, Bet, Bet. Again. Aleph, Bet, Bet. Next part. Gimel, Daled, Hey. One more time. Let's do it again. Aleph, Bet, Bet. Aleph, Bet, Bet. Gimel, Daled, Hey. Gimel, Daled, Hey. Okay, and we're gonna, one second, please. Sorry, 1 second.
Yes.
Give me 1 second, please.
Sophia.
Okay.
1 hour, 12:30 to 1:30. Waiting.
Yeah, Peter.
Okay, just one moment, please.
Here's the rabbi.
Okay, I'm just preparing the next part. Everyone can take a small break. Look at 2A, please. Look at 2A, please, and just think about the letters that we already just learned.
2A.
Repeat them to yourself, please. I'm going to unmute you. I'm going to mute you. Okay, beautiful. Okay, please take your card. Look at it. We're going to repeat it one more time. We're actually reaching the middle of the class as we talk. So so far we had an introduction, and also we learned 5 letters. We learned 1 twin letter. You know which one the twin letter was, right? The bet and vet, the one that has the button inside. And I'm going to unmute you now, and we're going to sing it together. Okay, just one moment. Please sip a cup of drink. Focus. Remember the letters that we learned so far. Aleph, the bet, vet. Aleph, bet, vet. Aleph, bet, vet. Gimel, Daled, hey. Gimel, Daled, hey. Again. Aleph, bet, vet. Yes, Arlene. Arlene, I'm muting you. Do you have a question? Yeah, I'm trying to unmute you. You have to unmute yourself.
Okay.
Yes, Arlene, you had a question?
No, because I was muted. I couldn't do it.
Okay, beautiful. We're going to all sing together in a moment.
Okay.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so I unmuted you all. Let's sing it one more time, and we're going to continue on. Okay? So, 3, 2, 1, go. Aleph, bet, bet, Aleph, bet, bet, Gimel, Daled, hey. Daled, hey. So the way we sing the song is we sing every part of the song twice. Okay? So one more time. Aleph, bet, Aleph, bet, Beautiful. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the next part. Beautiful. So you should be very proud of yourself from everything you learned so far. And we're gonna move on now to the next part of the course. Of the first course. Okay. Of the first class, I mean. So this is the letter, focus please, card 8A. Okay. 1 second, please. Having a bit of a small technical issue. Okay. Beautiful. So that's the letter Vav. Okay. Vav. Please pronounce 5 times. Okay. Vav, 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 Vav. Beautiful. Mike, could you unmute yourself and say Vav 5 times, please?
Dav, 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 Dav.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Vav, what's interesting about Vav? Vav is very straight. Vav, very. Vav is very thin. Okay? By the way, you have a lot of those things on the back of your card, as you can see. Very straight, very thin. Okay, that's Vav. Okay, Philip, you're good? You're good, Philip? Awesome. Okay, another thing interesting about Vav, what's a hanger? What does a hook do? A hook connects your coat, right? Let's say you want to hang up your jacket or your hat. It connects it to the wall. It's a connector. The letter Vav in the Hebrew language, what connects us, okay? It connects different words, different passages, different verses with others. So Vav is always about connecting. A hook joins two elements together, right? The Vav is for things that links words, phrases, and chapters, and bespeaks general continuity. Okay, so that's the letter Vav. Vav is always continuing and always connecting everything to the thing before. You'll see it always when you start reading. Vav has a very strong element of connection. Okay, so the Vav is very thin. The Vav. Okay. Okay, so we're just showing the Vav. Beautiful. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, this is the letter. And what letter are we holding on already? If you look at your card, 9A, that's letter Zayin. Okay, that's the letter Zayin. What number letter is it? It's the 7th letter. Ilana, you're good? Ilana, you're good? Awesome. Okay, that's Zayin. Ilana, could you do for us 5 times Zayin, please? You have to unmute yourself. Zayin 5 times.
Zion, 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 Zion.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you so much. Now, look at the letter Zion. Okay, zigzag. Okay, just another way to remember Zion zigzag. Okay, beautiful. Adriana, you're good? Zion, don't forget to not pronounce the words. Barbara, you're good? Everything's good? Zigzag, we're good? Thumbs up? Okay, let's move on. Now, there's something very interesting about the letter Zion, and that's a bit of the Kabbalistic, and I think a lot of you are going to enjoy this one. It's a favorite interpretation to the letters. So Zion looks like a sword, right? Zion is a weapon. Now, I just told you a moment ago that the numerical value of the letter Zion is 7. What's 7? 7 is the 7th day of the week, Shabbat. Shabbat is the Jewish secret weapon. Why? Let's see now. Shabbat is our secret weapon. Why is it our secret weapon? It says more than we kept the Shabbat throughout generations. The Shabbat kept us together. The Shabbat is the secret generation of the Jewish nation. Offer me anything you want. I would never give up my Shabbat. And especially in today's day and age, today's day society, that there's no break, there's no time to relax and time to reflect. Shabbat was given to this generation, and it's our secret weapon, the way we go and conquer the world, the way we make the world a better world, the way we make ourselves better by having this beautiful Shabbat. So Shabbat looks like a sword, like a weapon, Zion, zigzag, another way of remembering. Okay, what letter is that? That's the letter Chet. Okay, Chet. Okay, could I get someone? Professor Leibowitz, would you like to say Chet 5 times to us? You have to unmute yourself, please.
Chet.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so the letter Chet. Okay, it's not Chet, it's Chet. Okay, Chet. Oh, Chet is like a chuppah, right? What's a chuppah? A marriage. Getting married under the chuppah, canopy. Okay, the Chet. You see how the Chet looks? Look at the shape of the Chet. You see the Chet? Do you see a Chet in a chuppah? Yes. You do see a Chet in a chuppah. A true marriage transcends nature and logic. Why? Because it's based on soul commitment. Because if you take the letter Chet, what do you have in the letter Chet? You have the husband, you have the wife, the groom and bride, but then on top, you have that soul commitment. You have a blessing of Hashem, right? That's why we put a chuppah on top of our heads when we get married, to remind us that the only way this marriage is going to be successful is by having the blessing of Hashem. Okay, so you see the letter chet in the chuppah? Beautiful. Just another way to remember the letter chet. Another thing about the chet, 8 represents what is beyond nature, the supernatural and supernatural, right? It shows us something that's above and beyond. Okay, so that's, and we know that marriage, for marriage to exist and for marriage to flourish, we have to remember, we have to believe in Hashem, believe that this is God is between us. God is in between the relationships that we have with the ones that are dear to us. So that's the letter Ches. Okay? Beautiful. We're moving on to the letter Tes. What does this look like? Okay, let's use our imagination. This looks like a teapot, right? Why does it look like a teapot? It has a little opening, you pour water, and then it has a little triptych on the left where you pour the water out. Tes, teapot. Okay? Tes, teapot, one of my favorites personally. Tet for teapot. Why do you have to remember that? Now, you have something also about the letter tet. What's tet? Tet, the numerical value, as I mentioned before, we're holding now by the 9th letter. Don't get mixed up. The bet and vet were twin letters. They're one. So we're holding now by the 9th letter. And we know that the hardest letter tet starts for tov, good. And we know that, what's the letter tet? 9. If I had to think about the letter 9, where else do we have the letter 9 in our life? Letter 9 has 9 months of pregnancy and then labor and bringing a child to the world. It's the hardest thing to do. It says it's one of the greatest hardships in the world is bringing kids to the world. So the letter tet is tov. Not everything good is so glamorous and shines to you. So many good things in life are difficult, are challenges that we have to overcome. And then we can appreciate the goodness, like a mother brings a child to the world. Now, very important, the right one, tet, looks like a teapot. And the left one does not look like a teapot. The left one looks different. It doesn't have that opening inside. The teapot, you can put water inside. But the other one, you can't. Okay? So we're focusing on the right side, tet. Tet for teapot. Okay, what's the next letter? The next letter is, so far in this round, we learned Vav. Let's go back to you can go back on the cards, or you can go back to the card that has it all, to A. Okay, look at we're holding by the second line, and Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet. Okay, so the song would go, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet. Again, please sing along. I know it's in the middle. We're not supposed to be reviewing now. We're supposed to do a few more letters, but nevertheless, reviewing is key to succeed. So let's all sing together the second line. 3, 2, 1, go. Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet. Okay, it's the first part again. Vav, Zayin, Chet, Vav, Zayin, Chet. One more time. Vav, Zayin, Chet. Beautiful. So now we're going to continue, and we're going to start the new letter, and that letter is called Yud. Yud is the smallest letter. We already saw a Yud somewhere. Where did we see a Yud? We see a Yud by the Aleph. Aleph has 2 Yuds. Aleph has 1 Yud on top, God's name, and 1 Yud on the bottom. That's Am Yisrael, the Jewish nation. Now but that's the letter Yud. That's officially the letter Yud. Okay, so what's special? Smallest. Like a Yid, a Jew, right? A Jew is very, very small. If we had to compare ourselves to God, we're nothing, we're small. Yud alludes to God, who is one and transcends all. A Jew is small, limit, but powerful like God's name. So remember, the Yud again is Hashem. Why is the Yud Hashem? Because Yud is, God is so above and beyond our understanding, our comprehension. We can't grasp it. So that's why Yud God is described as something very small, the letter Yud. But also a Yid, Yehudi, a Jew is also a Yud. Why? He's small, but he has God's power. So he's very powerful. That's the letter Yud. Okay? So now we're going to do a bit of reviewing now. And we're going to sing the song together. I'm going to sing it a few times myself. And then you're going to sing it with me together. So let's go. Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yud. Okay, I'm going to go back now. Vav. That's the letter Vav. I'm going to remind you it's very thin. It's the connector. It's the one that connects words and connects different phrases and chapters with each other. Vav, very thin. Vav. Please pronounce the Vav. Vav. Can't hear you. Vav. You're all muted. That's why I can't hear you. But say it again. Vav. Beautiful. The next letter is Zayin. The letter Zayin. Zayin. Zayin is zigzag. Zayin is a sword because we said Shabbat, the seventh letter. So different ways of remembering the letter Zayin. 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 Don't get too overwhelmed. I know we're learning a lot of new letters, but guess what? It's all going to come together very, very soon. Chet. Chet, like a chuppah, right? A chet looks like a canopy, a chuppah. So you have Hashem, you have who really connects the husband and wife together. And the letter tet, tet for teapot. Use your imagination. See a tight teapot in a tet. This water comes inside and then water goes out from the little chupchik on the left. And then we have the letter Yud. Yud is Hashem, Yud is Yid, Yehudi, Yud. Okay? So we learned, beautiful, we learned another few letters. So now we're gonna take our card, and we're gonna take our card, and we're gonna read it off the screen, and we're gonna sing together. We're not only gonna sing the Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, we're also gonna go backwards. Just one moment, please. Okay, I'm gonna unmute you. 1 second, please. Okay, just one moment, please. I'm giving you a small break to look over it before we read it together. Please look at the new letters, look at the previous letters. We learned Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yud. We learned 5 new letters in that second portion. And then we have a few more letters for the day. And then we're done the first session. So we're learning half of the alphabet, half of the Aleph base. Okay, beautiful. So let's go. I'm going to unmute you all. Okay, let's do it together. Please unmute. We're going to start from the new part, the second line. Vav, Zayin, Tet. Again. Vav, Zayin, Tet, Yud. One more time. Vav,
Zayin,
Tet, Yud. Okay, let's do the whole. Let's do the first. Let's start from the beginning, and then we're gonna get to the new letters that we just learned together. So 3, 2, 1, go. And we're gonna pronounce every 3 letters, approximately every 3 letters, twice. So 3, 2, 1.
Aleph,
Bet,
Gimel, Bet,
Gimel,
Dalet,
Hey,
Dalet,
Gimel, Dalet,
Hey,
Vav,
Zayin,
Tet,
Yud, Vav, Zayin, Tet, Yud.
Good.
Okay, listen carefully. When we read the letter, it's very important to look inside. You have to make the connection between the name of the letter and the way the letter looks. Okay? So, before we move on, one more time, we're going to sing it together really quick, and we're going to move on.
Aleph,
Gimel,
Dalet,
Dalet,
Hey,
Gimel, Dalet,
Hey,
Vav,
Zayin,
Zayin,
Et, Vet,
Vav, Zayin,
Zet,
Yud.
Yud.
Wonderful.
That's pretty much
Wonderful.
it.
I'm just going to mute you all. We have another 14 minutes for this class. Okay. Let's go. Let's do this. Okay, so the next letter is the letter Kaf. Okay, we started a bit earlier today. And what's the letter Kaf? Card 13. Okay, card 13. Now, guess what? You're learning now the 11th letter. But the 11th letter, this letter numerical value is not 11 because it's the real numbers. It's 20. We finished the 10th letter. And now we're moving to the letter 11. That's the numerical value is 20. It's called a letter Kaf. Now, that's Kaf. Please pronounce 5 times. Ben Lubowitz, you want to pronounce it 5 times? You have to unmute yourself. Okay, go for it, Ben.
Kaf, 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 kaf.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that one. So you just did the letter Kaf, and guess what? The letter Kaf has a twin letter. Again, it's not another letter, it's a twin letter. That twin letter is called Chaf. Okay? The letter Chaf. Now, how am I going to remember the difference between the Kaf and the Chaf? Of course, and that you can ask yourself, but guess what? Kaf has a cough drop. Cough, cough. Sorry, I want to show you one. Kaf has a cough drop. But the Chaf has no cough drop. That's why it sounds hoarse. A sore throat. So the Kaf that has a dot inside has a cough drop that heals your, and then you can pronounce Kaf, clear. Kaf, clear. The Chaf doesn't have the dot inside, and therefore it's a bit of a sore throat. You sound hoarse. Okay? The Kaf means to bend, right? What does Kaf mean? Kaf is a receiver. We always, as much as, no matter where we are, what we're holding in life, how successful we are, we always have to have that element in our life of being a receiver, being like a kaf, being like a spoon that receives. And by the way, in Hebrew also, the letter kaf, the kaf, kapit, spoon in Hebrew is kapit. It comes from the letter kaf, right? It comes from the same way the letter kaf looks, and that's also the way a spoon is called, but that's just a side note. You see, kaf? Okay, now, that's actually card 14. Guess what? We just learned that the letter kaf has a twin letter. It's chaf. Kaf has a cough drop inside, and chaf is sore throat. Please pronounce 5 times to yourself. Look in the cards when you pronounce. Don't pronounce off by heart. Look inside, kaf and chaf. Kaf and chaf. Kaf and chaf. Okay? That's a final letter now. Could a final letter be in the middle of a word? No. Could a final letter be in the beginning of a word? No. A final letter can only be at the end of a word. And that's a final letter. It's a final kaf. Okay? A final kaf. And that's a final chaf. Okay? Let me give you one tip. How are you going to remember? By the way, we learned earlier on the letter Dalet. Why is it not the letter Dalet? It's longer, right? It's longer. Dalet is half the size of a final kaf. So the final kaf is at the end of a word. It's long. It concludes a word. That's why it's long. A final kaf is long. Okay? So we learned today, just learned a few things. We learned the kaf, chaf, right? The kaf with a cough drop. Pronounce it as we go on, kaf, chaf. And then also we learned the final kaf and the final chaf. The final kaf and the final chaf. We said, how do you know it's the end of a word? Because it's long. It concludes a word. It can't be in the middle. It won't make sense to put a long letter. We are going to see such letters, but I'm just giving you to remember the kaf and chaf. It won't make sense to put in the middle of a word. It's long. The word has to look proper. But at the end of a word, it's always in a picture. You put the tall people in the back, right? At the end, you put the tall people. So this long letter goes at the end of a word. Okay, now this is actually the tallest letter. What letter is this? It's a letter Lamed. Please pronounce 5 times Lamed. 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 Okay? The letter Lamed. Letter Lamed. Okay? Lamed. Please pronounce 5 times Lamed. 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 Engrave it in your head. Lamed. Okay? What does it look like? A lanky, a ladder, right? Right? A ladder, you want to climb up. You need something tall. You can climb on the Lamed to get someplace taller. Okay? Now, if you take the letter Chaf, okay, we learned the letter Chaf, right? Chaf has no cough drop inside. It's soft throat. And then you take the letter Vav. What happens now? What do you do with it? You put it on top of each other. It comes out as a Lamed. Okay? So it's a Chaf and a Vav together. That comes out to the letter Lamed. That's why it's the longest letter. Okay? Okay, let's go. Beautiful. So we are coming to a conclusion with today's class, but we're going to take 6 minutes now, and we're going to review what we just learned now, the last few letters, and we're going to review everything we learned today. And I'm going to send you an email with the song, so you can practice the song, because the song helps a lot. Okay, please do homework a couple of minutes a day. If you would like, I would be more than happy. I'll be more than happy to be your homework buddy. Lamed's number, Mrs. Michelle Khan, Lamed's number is 30. The way it goes is, so we learned why is the letter's number 30? Because, yes, 30, exactly. 10, 20, so we learned 10 is Yud. Okay, look at your page. 10th is the 10th letter. Kaf is already 20, and Lamed is 30. So the way it's going to go for the next few letters, it's going to be in the 20s, 20, 30, 40. So Lamed is numerical value 30. Again, if this gets you, if this confuses you, please make sure to not think about everything I said about every single letter. Take one specific idea that's going to help you remember those letters. So, okay, we're going to sing now. One moment, please. Please look at the letters before we start singing. I'm going to give you a 30-second break just to look over it. And we're going to conclude with like a few minutes of just repeating, singing, and repeating. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so what did we learn so far? So here we go. Aleph. Okay, I'm going to unmute you all. 1 second, please. Let's sing loud and clear. Okay, beautiful. Aleph. Bet. Again, let's repeat. Aleph. Bet. Bet. Gimel. Bet. Hey. Gimel. Dalet. Hey. Let's continue. Vav, Zayin, Chet, Bet. Again. Vav, Zayin, Chet, Bet. Yod, Tav, Yod, Tav, Tav, Lamed. Okay, Lamed. Okay, beautiful. We're gonna go back again. We're gonna start again. Okay, let's all give it all we have in the last 3 minutes of the class, and let's make sure to remember this because this is gonna be key in moving on. Okay. Aleph, Bet, Bet. Aleph, Bet, Bet. Gimel, Dalet, Hey. Gimel, Dalet, Hey. Vav, Zayin, Chet, Bet. Vav, Zayin, Chet, Bet. Yud, Tav, Yud, Kaf, Lamed, Lamed. We finish off the Lamed like open because we're so excited to move on with the next few letters. The Lamed. We want to move on already, but guess what? You can't move on till we don't do homework. So let's do one more time. And with this, we're going to conclude today's class. Thank you all for being amazing students. But I'm only going to know if you're amazing if you do homework. And we have to also, another thing is the 5 courses have to be done in a complete fashion. You have to join the 5 courses. I can guarantee to you that if you finish those 5 courses, you're going to know how to read Hebrew. Again, are you going to be perfect? Practice makes perfect. But you're going to be able to be perfect because you're going to have all of the tools to know how to read Hebrew. So let's go, ladies and gentlemen, one more time. Aleph, Bet, Bet. Aleph, Bet, Bet. Okay, one second. I'm sorry, I will. Okay, I want to make sure. We're going to start one more time and then we're going to conclude. Sorry. Aleph, Bet, Bet. Aleph, Bet, Bet. Gimel, Dalet, Hey. Gimel, Dalet, Hey. Vav, Zayin, Bet. Vav, Zayin, Bet. Yod, Tav, Yod, Tav, Lamed, Lamed. A round of applause for all of you. Bravo, beautiful, great job. Beautiful. And we just got started. So you have to make sure your homework, please do me a favor. Put aside all the cards from 2 to 15, keep in your possession. This is your homework. Don't look elsewhere. There's a saying in Yiddish, nicht gucken auf die Seiten. Don't look on the side. Look straight forward. Cards 2 to 15. Please leave the other cards aside, especially it can become into a big mess. And make sure 2 to 15. It's so simple. We're not asking for a lot. Make sure every single one of you, please make sure that by next week when we meet next Monday at 12:30, you know those letters perfectly. And I would be very, very happy to practice with you. And if you want a homework a pal to practice with pleasure, give me a call. So thank you all for joining, and it was lovely to meet. I'm seeing the names. Lovely to meet you all, and God bless you. And please hear this song a lot. I'm going to send you the song. The song, I don't mind if you listen to the whole song if you want, but the cards, please focus on knowing the 2 to 15. So God bless you all, and thank you all for joining, and see you next
Shalom.
week.
Okay.
Well, bye-bye.
Bye.